Sandalwood and jasmine, always.
Imagine every scent, every touch, every whispered word you've ever experienced, not fading into a fuzzy echo, but crystal clear, as if it happened a second ago. Your entire life, a perfect, searchable database in your mind. Subscribe to Think What If for more stories that push your imagination to the edge. It sounds like a superpower, doesn't it? No forgotten names, no misplaced keys, every lesson learned permanently etched. But what if that perfect recall wasn't a gift, but a relentless torrent? What if every joy, every triumph came with the searing, undiluted agony of every failure, every heartbreak, every single regret played back in high definition forever?
Get this feeling. It was always meant to be this way.
We typically access only a fraction of our stored memories. The vast majority of what we experience daily is filtered, compressed, or simply discarded by our magnificent protective brains. This is not a bug in our system, it is a feature. It allows us to function, to move forward, to heal. But what if that filter was gone? What if a sudden, unexpected shift unlocked the entire vault? Consider a world where every textbook you ever read, every lecture you ever heard was instantly recallable. Learning would transform. Imagine a surgeon performing a complex operation. Every anatomical detail, every possible complication, every successful precedent from medical history flashing through their mind with absolute clarity. Would mistakes become obsolete? Would expertise become universal? The pace of scientific and artistic advancement could accelerate beyond anything we can currently comprehend. Yet, think of the first time you tried to learn a new language. The frustration, the mistakes, the slow, agonizing progress. Now, imagine every single error you made, every mispronounced word, every grammatical slip, replaying vividly every single time you tried to speak. Would the weight of constant imperfection stifle initiative? Would the fear of adding more bad memories prevent you from even trying? The human brain is a marvel of biological engineering, a labyrinth of neurons and synapses. Scientists like Eric Kandel, working with the humble sea slug Aplasia, have shown us how memories are formed and stored at a cellular level. His research revealed that learning changes the very structure of our neurons. But even with this understanding, the idea of unlocking all memories remains largely theoretical, a distant sci-fi dream. However, nature has its own strange ways of altering memory. Toxoplasma gondii, a parasite carried by cats, is infamous for altering the behavior of its hosts, particularly rodents. Infected rats lose their innate fear of cat urine, becoming fearless and, conveniently for the parasite, easy prey. While it doesn't grant full memory access, it demonstrates how a biological agent can subtly yet profoundly rewrite neurological programming. Could something similar, perhaps a mutated strain or a bioengineered variant, target our memory suppression mechanisms? Imagine a virus. Not one that causes coughs or fevers, but one that suddenly, insidiously, rewrites the very code of your consciousness. A microscopic key unlocking every door in your mind. The initial symptoms might be innocuous. A sudden vivid memory of a forgotten childhood toy, a song lyric you haven't heard in decades playing perfectly in your head. Then, the floodgates open. Suddenly, you remember the taste of your first birthday cake, the texture of your grandmother's hand, the exact words of every argument you've ever had, every insult, every triumph, every embarrassing moment. Not just remembered, but re-experienced with the same emotional intensity as the original event. The past isn't just recalled, it's relived ceaselessly. This isn't just about academics, it's about identity. Who are you when every version of yourself, every fleeting thought, every hidden shame is present all at once? The shy teenager, the confident young adult, the person you are now, all screaming for attention in the same mental space. Would your sense of self splinter under the pressure? What would you do now? Trauma. This is where the concept truly darkens. Our brains are incredibly adept at compartmentalizing, at burying painful memories to allow us to survive. A soldier might remember the roar of battle, but the truly horrific sights might be pushed to the deepest corners, resurfacing only in nightmares. With full memory access, there would be no corners to hide in. Every scream, every wound, every loss would be as fresh and potent as the moment it happened. For someone suffering from PTSD, full memory access would be a living hell. The constant replay of their worst moments, undiluted by time or mental distance. Therapy would have to be entirely reimagined, if it could even exist in such a brutal landscape. How could you heal when the wound never, ever closes? The human mind needs to forget to move on. Relationships would also transform in terrifying ways. Imagine knowing every single slight, every uncharitable thought your partner ever had about you, every secret kept, every white lie told. Not just knowing it intellectually, but feeling the sting of each one every single day. Trust, built on a delicate balance of shared experience and unspoken forgiveness, would shatter. Conversely, imagine profound intimacy. Every shared glance, every inside joke, every moment of pure joy, perfectly preserved and instantly accessible. The depth of connection could be unparalleled, a shared tapestry woven with absolute clarity. But at what cost? Could any relationship bear the weight of such total transparency, such complete recall of every imperfection? The idea isn't entirely science fiction. Research into drugs like propranolol has shown promise in dampening the emotional intensity of traumatic memories. By blocking stress hormones, it can reduce the reconsolidation of fear memories, effectively making them less painful. This is a targeted approach to reducing access to the emotional component of memory, the opposite of our scenario. But what if a rogue scientist, perhaps seeking to cure Alzheimer's or unlock human potential, inadvertently created something that did the opposite? A virus designed to enhance memory pathways, overshooting its target and dissolving the crucial filters that protect our sanity. An accidental pandemic of perfect recall. The initial days would be confusing, exhilarating even. People suddenly reciting ancient texts, solving complex equations, remembering every forgotten face. Then the cracks would appear. The weight of every past mistake, every missed opportunity, every unkind word you ever spoke would press down. The world would descend into chaos, not from physical violence, but from the sheer psychological immensity of omnipresent pasts. Sleep would offer no escape. Dreams, already a chaotic mix of memory and imagination, would become an even more vivid, unrelenting montage of your entire existence. The line between waking and dreaming, past and present, would blur into a terrifying, continuous stream. The human brain, designed for selective recall, would buckle under the infinite data. Societies would crumble under the strain. Imagine judicial systems where every witness remembers every detail, but also every biased perception, every flawed interpretation. Imagine political debates where every candidate's past, every hidden agenda, every fleeting thought is laid bare for all to see. The very concept of privacy would vanish. The motif repeats. The world would descend into chaos. Could we adapt? Could humanity evolve a new psychological defense mechanism against the constant onslaught of self? Or would the collective weight of every single past, perfectly remembered, become too much to bear? The silence of forgotten moments is a precious gift. In this world of perfect recall, every wrong turn, every spoken word, every missed chance echoes eternally. There is no letting go, no moving on, only an infinite, inescapable present composed of every past. And the most haunting realization? We wouldn't just remember our own lives, but the lives of everyone we've ever encountered, their memories intersecting with ours, creating an even more overwhelming tapestry of human experience. The world would descend into chaos. Imagine the final days. The last few survivors, their minds brimming with the entirety of human suffering and joy, unable to filter a single moment. They would carry the weight of all existence, their eyes reflecting not just their own history, but the infinite, perfectly preserved histories of everyone who came before. A beautiful, terrible burden. And in their final moments, as their own memories joined the eternal current, perhaps they would find a strange, unsettling peace in the absolute clarity of everything. Everything finally remembered. Subscribe to Think What If for more worlds you should never forget.